Hey friends, so welcome to Coding School. Today the question that we are having again is a very interesting question and a unique question as well. So the question statement is basically to find the number of binary strings of length n such that the sum of multiplication of all the adjacent values of that binary string should be k. So basically here we are given a number n and a number k, and we need to find out the sum of, we need to find out all the binary strings of length n such that the sum of multiplication of all the adjacent bits should give me the result as k. So I hope it is pretty much clear. So basically, uh, let's look at the constraint. Basically the I that I have written right here is varies from 1 to n, where n is the total length of the binary string we're talking about, and the constraint is basically the constraint is basically for n, both n and k will vary from 0 to 100. It is the lower and upper bound. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we need to find out all such binary strings of length n where this particular condition will should meet. So basically here we are just finding all the sum of multiplication of all the adjacent values. Okay, and the answer we are supposed to find out is k. Cool. So let's take an example here, n equal to 5 and k equal to 2. So in this particular example, let's say that we are having this particular binary string. Okay, so in this particular binary string, if we just find out all the adjacent, all multiplication of all the adjacent, and we just sum them out, then sum them up, then what will we get? 1 into 1 plus this one into this one plus this one into this 0, and so on and so forth. So it will give me the result as 2, which is nothing but the the value of k. So basically it here it just met the condition. That is why we will simply just count it. Otherwise, if something like this can it is also a possibility of a binary string of length n. So here, if we just find out the sum of multiplication of all adjacent bits of a binary string, then it will give me 0, which is not meeting the condition. So that is why we will not count it. Okay. So to solve this particular problem, we can generate all the possible binary strings and verify one by one whether this string is satisfying the condition or not. Well, it will surely work, but the time complexity here would be 2 to the power n, 2 raised to n, because that means it is exponential completely. Why? Because we are trying to solve all the sub problem as well. Let's say we have solved a for a recursive state some moment before, and we let's say we hit the same state again after some time, and we did not store the result of that particular value we just had found out. So we will again end up with finding that particular end up with computing the that state as well for now. And for this particular thing, we will end up with the time complexity of exponential. So but we can do better than this. So I want you to be very attentive throughout the session to understand the logic I'm trying to explain to you. So let's say we want to have a binary string. So what is the possibility of getting the last value or the last bit of that binary string? Are you getting me? So let me repeat that for you again. Let's say we want to have a binary string. Okay, actually, see, here what we are trying to do is, without generating all the possible binary string, we are simply doing such thing that we do not have the binary string. We just need to imagine the binary string, okay, that we have, that we are having a binary string, but actually we are not generating such strings, okay. So let's say, let's now think about it a bit. I mean, just think, uh, just think that we have a binary string, okay. So what is the possibility of getting the last bit of that particular binary string? So as we all know that a binary string could be the binary value could be either a 0 or a 1, isn't it? So therefore, we are having two possibilities here for the last bit of that binary string. So let's say let's say the binary string can be anything, okay? The prefix can be anything, but what about the last bit? The last bit could be either 1 or it could be either 0, isn't it? So these are two possibilities that we are having right now, okay? So let's observe each one of them by exploration, okay? Just explore each one of them, each one of the example, okay? So let's say we are, dealing with this particular, example or this particular thing. First possibility, basically. So what is the possibility of having the second last bit for this particular example then? So here, actually, I just have pasted the first example right here because let me just, yeah. So this is the first example, isn't it? So here, the last, getting the last value is, for this, we are having two possibilities. Either it can be 0, as we have written right here, or it can be 1. So we are just exploring this particular part. So what is, okay, I got, let's say the last value is 1, okay? So what is the possibility of getting the second last value then? Again, it will have two possibilities. One is get by getting 1, or other one is for getting 0, isn't it? So so here is the whole, the condition was to find out the multiplication of adjacent value and to sum of all this, multiplications basically. Or simply, if I can say that we need to find the sum of multiplication or the adjacent value. So here, as you can see, that these two are adjacent, isn't it? These two are adjacent to each other. So, and the thing is, the whole sum of all the multiplication of adjacent values should give me the result similar, the equal value of k, okay? I mean, it should give me k. So as you can see, so if I just, multiply these two things, I mean 1 into 1, it will give me uh, the result is 1, isn't it? But here, as you can see, it will give me the multiplication is 0. So if we just apply common sense, okay, not the logic, if we simply apply the common sense, then we can see it is giving me non-zero value while it is giving me a simple 0. So will this value contribute to get me the result, I mean, k? No, it will not, because it is currently 0. I don't know, what is the, what is, just behind this particular number. I don't know, isn't it? It can have all zeros. Okay, so I will not take any risk because, this value is 0. So that is why I can say that it will not be contributing anything for getting me this particular result. But here, as this value is 1, so clearly this value can contribute, can. See, I'm telling you can, because it might also not be possible to get the result as k, by proceeding by proceeding with this particular value or this particular example, but it can be, okay? It can or cannot be. So that is the thing, that is the logic that I was talking about. So now let's this particular example. I hope you got this, two example, two possibilities. So now let's talk about the second case. Okay, this one. So here, whatever the prefix, could be, it will not going to, just give me this particular value. Why? Because the last bit is 0. So let's say the possibilities of getting the uh, second last value will again 2, which is either it could be 1 or it could be 0, okay? So either of one will not going to give me the, the result anyway, because the multiplication here as well 0, here as well 0, isn't it? Because the one value is 0, which is the last one. So anyway, it will not give me, or give me the chance to get this particular result. So I hope you got the logic behind it. So to solve this, basically we will, apply simple recursive, solution, and after that we will see how we can memorize thing using a DP, and we will try to solve this using DP. Cool. So now quickly move to the code part. Let's say ways. Okay. Yeah. So here let's take the example of n equal to 5 and k equal to 2. Okay. And let's say that uh, okay, basically we are trying to find out the possibilities, isn't it? So here the first of all we need to imagine, as I already just took the first example, that if we are having a binary string, then there are two possibilities of getting the last value of this particular binary string. So there are two possibilities. The last value could be 0 or could be 1. Okay. So here we will simply call, let's say, fun. Okay, the function name. Here we will pass n, k, and the last value is either 1 or it could be 0. Okay, I hope you get it. So the third parameter that I have written right here is denoting the last value of the current binary string. Okay, so basically okay, it should be int and say one, say n, the k, and the last value. Okay, so here, as you can see, what is the best condition would be. So the best condition will be, actually we are moving, you are traversing from the last to beginning. So that is why if I say the moment I am saying from last to beginning, that is why we would like to end of our recursive call in the zeroth position of it. I mean, when the n equal to 0, then only we should stop and see if n equal to 0. Let's say I am asked to just find out the number of string possible for any particular k, but the n is 0. The length of the string could be 0. See, in the binary string, in binary value, we have at least one character. There should be at least one the length, because if there will be one length, then we are having two possibilities of getting the binary value, which is 0 or 1, isn't it? This is the one length string. But what about the 0 length? There is nothing possible, isn't it? That is why we will simply going to return a 0 right here. But okay, but what if n equal to 1? Like I explained to you right here. If we see that n equal to 1, then for, let's say, for k equal to 0. Okay, that means you need to find out the value where which will give me k equal to 0. So for n equal to 1, one value, as you can see, is 0 already. So that it will give me the result k equal to 0, isn't it? So that is why, for, and if k value is more, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 2, 3, anything, so it will not going to give me any result. That is why if k equal to 0, then only we will return 1, otherwise we will return 0. Okay, so now let's come to the original part of this question. So here basically what we will do, we will uh, see if the last value, okay, if the last value equal to 1, that means there are two possibilities of getting the result. Then the possibilities are, we will simply moving down for any value. We do not care what is the last value, and we will only say that we will only decrease the k by 1 only if the last value is 1. Okay, sorry, the second last value is 1. If the second last value is 1 and already the last value is 1, it will give me, it may give me the result same as k. Okay, that is why I just have reduced it, because I'm just saying that, yeah, I just found something for which will contribute to k. That is why I just reduce it by 1. Okay, just telling for rest of the thing you need to find out whether it will give the k or not. Cool. So the second possibility is, again I will reduce n, because whether or not it will give me the result, I just need to reduce n. Okay, this is my job. And I will not reduce k if the second last value is 0. Okay, because it will not give me, it will not, there is no chance of getting the value of k by, if the second last element is 0. One of them, one of the adjacent value if 0. Okay, yeah. And in else part we can write the same logic, but if the, as I have already told you that the last value if is 0, then it will not going to give me any particular answer. Instead we will simply copy this thing and paste right here. Okay, so this plus this, isn't it, whether the value could be 1 or it could be 0, it will not going to give me any result. So yeah, so this is the solution basically. So for your um, for your reference, I can give this, I can tell you the result for this. The result for this would be, will be 6. You can simply generate all the possible binary string of length 5, and you can just test it with k equal to 2, and you will surely get the result as 6. Okay, so yeah, so this is the solution basically. Let's test it out. And again I want to tell you that the complexity of this solution again is exponential. Okay, that is why we will reduce it. So it is giving me 6, as you can see. Okay, so it is 6, or we can clearly write it if it is not visible. Okay, at last we should append and slash n. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is the thing. Yeah, value 6, as you can see. Cool. So now this will not going to work for n equal to 100 and k equal to 100, because it will take 2 to the power or 2 raised to 100, which is bigger, just a big value. So it will not going to work. It will just give me a segmentation fault, a time limit exceeded, something like that. Not a segmentation fault, and instead it will give me the time limit exceeded. So that is why we will use something. Okay, what will be that something? So that will be, see, we are dealing with 3 values, isn't it? Let the n, the k, and something called as the last value. The last value could be 0 or 1. So it will be the binary, number. Okay, which is again 0 or 1. So it take max of 2 size. So let's define a dp. So in this particular DP, we are having the first parameter is n. So n could be a maximum, sorry, the upper amount of n could be 100. So that is why for safety purposes, we can take it as 101. Okay. So the second value is k. Again, it could be 100. So we will take 101. And the third value, actually we are taking 3D DP because we are dealing with 3 parameters here, isn't it? So here the third value could be 2. I mean the size of third is 2 because it could be either 1 or could be 0. So that is why we will take it. Cool. So now basically if n equal to 0, okay, if n equal to 0, we will simply going to return 0 without thinking anything, because there is no size currently. So that is why we will simply going to return 0. Or if n equal to 1 and k, actually I just told you the thing, don't want to explain again. So if the last value is 1, then we will do something. But first of all, I want you to know that I want my DP to be filled with minus or something like that, so that I can say that yeah, this particular state had this particular state had been found out from from last some um, you know before some moment, and I just want to get the value of that particular state that had been found that had found out in my current state. Okay, if I'm just going to repeat that particular computation again. So that is why I am just, sorry, I'm set. So that is why I will be simply going to fill this particular dp with -1. Okay, now, yeah, it's done. So now let's say I am currently in a particular state which requires a computation, which requires a complex computation. Okay, so let's say I see that I have already found the answer for that particular state some moment before. So why we should compute it again to find out the result for the same, isn't it? So if I found the dp of, I'm sorry, dp of n, dp of n, k, and the last value has been, found out already. If have found out, we have found out, then for sure the value will, would not be -1 anymore. It could be, having something else, some, just not -1, isn't it? So that is why we will simply going to return from here this particular value. Okay, and if it is 1, then we can say we will save something right here. Let's say -1, because we are computing for this particular parameters. That is why we will simply store it in that particular, field. Cool. And 1. So basically here I want you to understand that this particular one that I am passing right now as a third parameter in this particular function is not defining the last value of the previous binary string. Instead, it actually defining the the last value of the next string. I mean, what the next string could be. Cool. So right here we will write something like this, and here it will be 0, isn't it? But we will not going to reduce k. Okay, I just have explained to you why we are doing this. And yeah, we will again not going to reduce k, whatever it could be, we will not going to reduce k. Cool. So here it will be, oh, I'm sorry, yeah. So when it is 0 and -1 k 0 and -1 k and 1, so yeah, so this is the thing, but we are not returning anything right here. We just need to return something, just the summation of these two guys. Okay, plus this. Cool. So right here also we need to return, we just need to sum up these two values that we have found so far, and we need to return them to the thing. Okay, so yes, this is the solution basically, and it should work. So now let's see. So if I just run this particular solution, then it is again giving me 6, which is the correct answer. So this is the solution. I hope you enjoyed throughout the session. I hope you got the solution. Basically, here we are not, generating all the possible binary string of length 5 or length n, and we are not, trying to find out just, we're not, checking whether this particular current binary string, is just satisfying the given constraint or not. Instead, we are just assuming what could be the last value of this particular binary string, and we are just moving with that particular assumption. Okay, so this is why this is the this particular solution will not, exponential. So yeah, so this is the thing. So I hope you enjoyed. So thanks.